Are we gonna start now?
I had to do a false start with you guys.
Smart.
Are we problem childs? Children.
I think you might be.
We're the
Welcome,
most
everyone.
difficult-
Here are the
difficult
problem
band.
children.
Difficult band you've ever interviewed.
He said 5,
With-
and we all lost it. It's insane.
I've never talked before in my life.
Jesus Christ.
So,
5. Okay.
Daisymaker. Daisy doesn't seem as rambunctious of a flower as you might make it out to be. But you guys are rambunctious boys.
Thank you.
I think that's the
Gentlemen.
point. That's the
the
point.
highest compliment.
Just mess.
That is the highest
All right.
compliment.
But this is
Thank you.
Daisymaker. New York City. Another New York City band. As I talk to people from New York City and New York City band.
And being in New York City,
Being in New York
as you do in New York
As
City,
one does in New York
you
City.
might talk to people in New York City.
But I'm trying to think of like what I would equate your sound and everything to. I know you guys have played in the city in different bands before. I don't necessarily know the history. I'm hoping to kind of get the understanding of that history of how this band formed and everything. But one thing, I was thinking about, I don't know which song it was. Maybe it was Fade Away. For whatever reason, it made me slightly think of Motorhead. And I hope that's a compliment.
Yeah.
But it was,
Let's go.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't it be a compliment?
I'm just
Yeah.
saying, some people don't like Motorhead. So,
Who does not like Motorhead?
you know what's funny? I think
There's
I was
people
like,
who
That sounds like something
Oasis.
someone would make. Hot take.
Last one.
Like someone would make.
Maybe the thing with Motorhead is there's people that know Motorhead and there's people that know nothing about Motorhead.
Okay, so some people don't know of Motorhead.
Yeah. And I take that as
People
kind
that
of
not
fact.
liking it.
Love
Yeah.
Motorhead.
Right.
But you guys, tell me about each of you guys in the band. Tell me about Daisymaker. Go around, introduce the band, introduce yourself.
For sure.
Eli, go first.
Yeah, go ahead.
Me? Who, me?
Yeah.
All right, I'm Eli Kaminsky. I sing lead vocals and play guitar.
But you started the band, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is all the source material. We're gonna get into talking about the, I think, six track EP that you're putting out.
Yep.
Is all that from your brain, and then these guys kind of fill out the arms and legs.
I guess for those songs,
Yeah.
sure.
And then songs coming down the road, you guys are writing more together.
I'd like to, gentlemen. I'd like to. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, let's go around the room. Let's introduce everybody, and then we can get into
Eli right
we can get
now.
into the history of the
Yeah,
band.
Eli. Dan.
All right, Daniel from Brooklyn, New York. I've been in various bands for like 40 years. My birthday was May 1st, which was when his single came out.
He's still salty that I didn't say that at the Arlene's
pretty-
grocery show. I did
'cause you-
shout out his birthday.
Did you not? I
'Cause
thought
you said
you
you
did
did.
in every
You did.
rehearsal. He
You
did in
did.
every rehearsal.
Dude, it's on tape. We can actually cut to the
talk
tape
about
on
that.
that.
To the tape, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, we'll give you the tape.
we can check.
Game tape.
We can rewind that. What else? Grew up in Brooklyn, New York. We're all a bunch
Great
of New
song, by the
Yorkers,
way.
so that's cool. And what else? I don't know.
Great
That's
guy.
about
Great
it.
person.
Play bass.
You play bass? You used to play drums, though.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
is this the
It's
first
true,
band that
there's some
you're
history. It's just
pretty much playing bass for? Because I know
like
you've
full
played
time.
full-time. Yeah,
Technically, the first like bass performance was with a singer-songwriter named Rosa Bardallo at Our Wicked Lady, rest in peace. But that was a
done?
Is
fun.
that true? I don't think that's true.
Ooh, is
done,
this how
done?
you guys find out?
I saw that.
Yeah.
This is a great clip.
That's why they're not
Yeah.
responding to my emails.
Oh, no. They weren't responding to anyone's email.
Last I checked, the Instagram captions and pictures weren't looking good. They were like, landlord wasn't cool
That
with
sucks,
the
though. That's
vibe.
like a really, like,
Yeah, it was a
Yeah, it's
cool
a big
band.
that's an
loss.
amazing place. Yeah.
It's a big loss. So rest in peace. But that was the first time I played bass on stage. And then Eli, it was funny because I was in the hunt for a band, and I was like messaging people on Facebook, music groups, New York City groups, whatever, Reddit, trying to find like a good fit. And I was getting some hits, but a lot of people are. Just don't have
Those
their
groups
shit
are-
together.
those
It's
groups are
rough.
something else.
Yeah,
Those
it's
groups
rough.
are pretty interesting.
It is rough pickings. I'm getting
Shout out to those
demos
groups.
that are barely
Shout out to those
audible.
groups.
And then, in the fray of all that, Eli literally reached out. So I was literally on the hunt, and it was just like perfect time. He reached out. He's like, "Yo, what are you doing?" And like playing bass, and he's like, "You want to do it here?" And I was like, "Okay."
That's a direct quote.
Yeah, that's verbatim.
Exactly what happened.
I have a screenshot of DMs if you want to see it.
We're gonna freeze frame, freeze cut.
I don't want to
jump
see your
cut.
DMs.
You definitely don't. I don't want
Cut
to
to
see
the
it.
quote. Cut to the DMs.
No screenshots of
And-
the group chat.
None of that. No, yeah,
Yeah, we can't get canceled yet,
yeah,
boys.
definitely not.
We haven't even started. We haven't even put out an
Barely
EP.
started. Yeah, exactly.
Get canceled before
Return,
the EP.
return to sender.
Computer's not even on; it's getting shut down. And then he reached out. Luckily, I put up some medium quality bass videos for the last
think
year
you've been
on my
putting out
Instagram.
great bass
Thank you,
videos.
thank
Good
you.
content.
No, they got
You're
better.
looking,
They got better.
you're looking for compliments, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not
He's
fishing.
fishing.
But yeah, he reached out. I'm grateful for it, and everything kind of fell into place. We had jammed before,
Yeah.
as Ash was doing some other stuff, and I filled in for drums. So we had like rapport,
Yeah.
and some history. So yeah,
In Ash and my previous band, we'd done a show with one of Dan's previous bands, which is how we'd met.
Oh, nice.
And we liked Dan's sound, so we brought him in to play with us. And Ash ended up coming back, so we ended up not doing it and like not needing another drummer, but we liked Dan a lot. So when I saw just like fortuitously that he was posting bass videos and I needed a bassist pretty desperately,
Yeah.
I hit him up, and I was not expecting to get a yes because we actually thought that you didn't like jamming with us when we did the drums together.
which is so ironic because I thought you guys thought I wasn't good on drums. So that's so funny how
we were like, oh, like he's great, but I don't think he was into it. I think you were sick. And I think you left early, and we misread the situation.
is that what happened?
I
It was
think that's what
It was
happened.
quite a while ago. It's possible.
Yeah, my name is Taylor. Dude, thank you so much for having us. I really
problem.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
I love talking to you.
Thank you.
So yeah, should I start with like how I came into the picture, or
Let's hear it.
Okay. Well, let me start a little bit beforehand. I've known Asher and Eli from high school days, and so we've known each other for a very long time, and always got along with them. I followed them around when they were doing their previous.
He was
band.
a groupie.
I really love you guys, and I wanted to give you as much support as I possibly can without committing too much. And so I came to a couple of your shows, had a great time, and just love you guys as people. And so I don't know what it was, but like in my peripheral, I kind of saw you guys were creating this new band. And it was like
I think I posted
it was
on
a-
my personal Instagram.
Probably,
And
yeah.
That's where you messaged us.
Yeah, exactly. It was like, we need a lead guitarist, and I was like, I'm a lead guitarist, and you were like, no way.
Yeah,
and I was like,
I wasn't expecting.
Is this band just the no way of you got Dana playing
It was
bass,
a total
Taylor
total just like.
that's what I was saying. I was like, you guys have no read on this situation. But it was like, it would have been nice to have been asked,
Yeah.
But yeah,
I
so-
just like I figured that he wouldn't be interested.
which was it was an even better compliment. To be honest, I
That's
didn't even
he
want to
wasn't
ask.
asked because we assumed that it was a no.
It was so
and then it was a
beneath
yes,
me
which was
that
the
I
same
was
thing with
like-
you too.
It was so beneath me that it was like you guys didn't even want to ask because you didn't want to get rejected.
And
So
we're
that was
we're
really
very
sweet.
glad that he reached out and we could say yes and we didn't have to get rejected.
Exactly.
It's
No,
that way
but it was so
sometimes.
nice. It was just a perfect fit, because I'm doing my own
Absolutely, yeah.
music, and I was like, you know what, I miss these guys. I want to spend more time with them, and this is the perfect way to do it.
Yeah.
And also just have a great time and flex those muscles, and nothing but great things have come out of
Yeah.
it. So I'm really glad that I just felt like
That you
reaching
saw
out
the-
to you.
You saw the
You
stars
saw the
line.
Instagram post.
I mean, I knew we were going to get along well. I didn't know Dan, obviously, but we hit it off like the first second. I think we were telling dead baby jokes or something, which is like natural.
Is that right?
Probably.
Yeah,
It was,
sounds
it
about
wasn't
right.
very quick. I think
Yeah.
our
Yeah,
first, the first we jammed. Ash Taylor and I jammed and it was just very clearly a fit. And then we brought Dan in, and I think that first rehearsal was just like very natural.
We also found out we had a lot of mutual friends.
A lot of connections.
in our
recently,
circle.
We're all
just
from New York. We're
band-
all from like
having-
born and raised New York.
Yeah, spending time here doing bands and stuff, like we know similar people,
Yeah.
people that I've known since Ash and I first met. So it's just kind of that was surprising. We only just learned that at our most
A
recent
lot
rehearsal.
of name drops would come. and I'm
Anytime
like, whoa.
somebody will throw out a name of somebody in the New York scene, Dan will be like, "How do you know this?" Like he
Yeah.
knows everybody. He knows everyone.
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
How many bands?
So
have
it's
you
pretty
been in?
nice,
You've been in a
though.
lot of bands.
Yeah.
Before we get into that, let's hear how many
Sorry.
bands Ash has been in.
Ash has some stuff to say. Ash has the most interesting man in the room.
My name's Asher, aka Ash. Known Eli. We went to high school together, so I've known Eli for.
He was, I think, you were the
15
first person
guys
I
were the-
met
years?
before school even started. We
Yeah,
met
we
at that
were in,
like
like, the-
pre-freshman
Yeah.
Great Lawn meetup. We were like 13 and a half or something.
I had a broken arm.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you did.
I just
From
fallen off the
ATV,
quad.
right?
Yeah, I fell off my ATV, which is a drummer's nightmare, but I'm still playing. But yeah, I play the drums.
You had it set up so that you could like at least do something.
He was actually playing the drums
Yeah.
while he was on the ATV,
Yeah, it was
which is
like
how he broke his arm.
like stuck in there. So
Oh, you're not supposed
So,
to do
He was
that.
drumming while driving.
yeah.
Dangerous.
You got a
Guilty
DUI.
as charged.
Got a DUI.
Guilty as charged. So yeah,
Well,
I've been
DUD.
playing drums
Oh,
my
yeah,
whole
sure.
life,
Yeah.
basically. And I've known Taylor for a long time as well.
Yeah.
Sorry,
And-
bud.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hey, you left him
And-
hanging there.
No, it's all
Jump cut.
Cut that right now. No, we're not having that.
But yeah, I've been a part of the previous iteration of this, which was called Club Duvet. And we would rehearse at a studio I rent in Brooklyn with my friend Max, whose band I'm also in, called The Mantle, which is on my shirt.
Plug.
The Mantle. Metal band. But yeah, you know, I love regular kind of like rock and roll stuff as well. So I wanted to jam with these boys and play gigs, and now we're here.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It does sound like there's like this thread
Yeah.
through this. And I think this is something I feel like that the more you play in bands, the more you start to realize like part of it is just having like a group of people that you genuinely want to sit down and hang out with. Like even if we didn't have instruments, we'd be still sitting down, drinking, and talking like we're doing now.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, you have to
big
spend a
part, yeah.
lot of time with
Yeah.
people when you're in a band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's
That's
a-
very important.
There's a great quote from my roommate's client that he works with / friend. Her name is Laura Manier, but she says when it comes to like bands, half of it is the hang.
Yeah.
So like, yeah,
If not,
If it
more,
doesn't work.
if not more than half.
yeah, it might be more than half.
Yeah.
It might be 60, 70, 80.
98.
No,
It's
but-
barely about the music.
Yeah, we don't even play
We'll see when we
music.
go on tour. How
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, because the hang could change. But yeah, no, the hang is important. The chemistry is important. So yeah, like they said.
So, thank you guys for introducing all yourselves, the band. Before we can continue, I want to talk about like the EP that you have coming up, some of the songs that have come out, some of the ones that will be coming out in the full EP. Before we do that, where can people find you? What is out right now? What shows you have coming up? Let the people know.
You
Yeah.
want to start, bud?
I'll kick it off. Yeah. So our Instagram handle is @Daisymaker Band. Also TikTok @Daisymaker Band. So you can find us there. Instagram, if you're looking for information, that's probably the best place. We have 3 songs out on Spotify, Apple Music, all the major streaming platforms. We've got Save Your Life, Feel This No More, and Fade Away, which just came out a week ago. And yeah, we're going to be putting out an EP in probably late July. That'll have 6 songs, those 3 and 3 more. We just kind of announced it last week because we weren't expecting Fade Away to get 1,000 plays in less than a week. So as a kind of surprise to celebrate that, we announced that the EP is coming, and we announced the full track list. So the EP is going to be called The Road Ahead, and the 6 songs are the 3 I just mentioned, as well as Stumbling in the Dark, Get You Off My Mind, and what's the last one, guys? Heard It on the Radio. So yeah,
I'm the same way. It's once you have all these projects and things, it's hard.
Yeah,
I forget
yeah.
the track list, and then you're trying to manage the track list versus like the set list.
The set list, the track list, and as Ash mentioned, he and I were in a band together called Club Duvet, and some of the songs we've pulled over. So some of the songs are being released as Daisymaker songs, some of them aren't.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of mishmash. And Taylor also does his song Not Tonight in our set list, so it's hard to keep everything straight.
There are so many songs that it's like, which ones are we putting on the EP again?
Yeah.
So it does make sense.
Yeah.
And then do you have like an EP release show, or you have a couple gigs also coming up?
Yeah, we
too?
do have a couple shows. So we've got a free show at Otto's Shrunken Head with Morphland. Taylor is also the guitarist in.
Yeah.
And Killer Joe Band, which is like an incredible band that's been playing the Long Island and New Jersey circuit forever. Ash and I have played with them before. They're like legends. So we're super excited to play with them. We've also got the Delancey, August 2nd, and that's going to be the release show. So we're going to release the EP right before
That's
that.
also one of my bunny's birthdays, so shout out
Is
to
it?
Christopher Lewis. Yeah,
Nice.
it is.
Oh,
18,
wow.
yeah.
So we're going to shout
So
out.
we're
We're not going to shout out
on the
Dan.
back
A lot of
line.
birthdays.
A lot of birthdays.
We're gonna have it.
A lot of
nice.
coinciding birthdays.
That's
that
an
you like
inside
They
to
have
shout out.
almost 1,000 followers on TikTok right now. The Buns.
More than the band.
What are we talking about?
About 10 times more than the
Buns.
band.
The
bunnies, yeah.
The bunnies.
Bunnies.
Yeah.
So-
No, but that's gonna be an awesome show. I
Yeah.
can't wait for that.
Yeah, Saturday
All
night
of
at the
shows
Delancey.
in
We're
general.
really excited. We love playing there.
Yeah.
And we're also playing Pete's Candy Store. Candy Store.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pizza
Yeah.
Candy Store.
We're playing Pete's Candy Store September 18th as well, which will also be a free show. And we're trying to get any more shows. We're talking to a bunch of other bands. So yeah, we love gigging. We love playing shows in the New York area. So that's something we're looking to just do a lot of.
For you guys, what's a preference? I always find this interesting. What got you into playing music more, like the recording or the performing?
What do you mean?
Because I feel like in my head, I used to just be like, recording's cool, but I really want to be out there on stage playing more than I want to
like
record. And
verses?
it's kind of like changed over time where I'm like maybe 50-50 now.
Now we all
kinda
everyone's got a home studio to work at, pretty much. So it's
Yeah.
a different world. But when I was a
odd.
kid, when we were kids,
When I was a kid,
performing was probably the easiest route to get
Yeah,
out
yeah.
there. You know,
Yeah.
if you had some kind of
Logic didn't
Well,
even
for
exist.
us,
Logic literally
anything
didn't
like that.
exist
Well, for
when we
us-
started playing music. When we learned to play instruments, like Logic truly
They
did
had
not
Pro
exist.
well, I feel like for us,
When did they invent Pro Tools?
Pro Tools in the late '90s. But I think the thing.
Well, I didn't know about that. Shows how much
Logic was in the
Not
early
so.
2000s, but
Yeah.
I think the thing with us is that I don't know, I might be speaking out of turn, but I think for us, like, we idolized excellent performers.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
recordings are amazing, and we could listen to those all the time. But like for us, what really inspired me at least was like seeing live versions of the recordings.
Yeah.
Because that showed their craft and their
Yeah.
seriousness and their excellence
Yeah.
to a higher degree that they could have performed at that recording at that time.
Yeah.
So for me, I guess I would say if I was younger, I was like 100% performance, because like you could have a great recording, but what really lifted my spirits and gave me that like almost spiritual feeling was seeing them do so well performing live. But recordings now, as I'm older now, I see and I have more fun with it just because, like you said, we have more access to it.
Yeah.
And we could do a lot more cool things that
Yeah.
way.
The access is a big part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when like going to a studio
It's
was
the same
like
thing,
a
yeah.
field trip for me. Like it was
Yeah.
like, oh my god, I'm in this,
yeah.
able to record myself.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And now it's just
Yeah.
like
We
everyone.
have the gear, we
Roll
know how
out
to
of
do
bed,
it,
yeah.
As a drummer, I think when I started recording drums, how many mics blew your mind that you to start using as a drummer? Like how many, like just to be like, was the first thing that was satisfactory?
I mean, like obviously you got a couple overheads, snare, and kick, and that could pretty much solve any problem. But in the world of recording now, I've got like
how many
17
mics? Yeah.
So
17
On both
plus.
sides of the snare.
He's got an incredible
both sides of the
studio.
hi-hat.
Yeah. He's got an incredible studio out in Long Island where we've both recorded all of the drums as well as a lot of the guitars. We'll go out there and like track stuff live, and it's really awesome out in Cutchogue, New York.
Drum farm.
The Drum Farm, baby. Plug it.
At the drum farm.
At the Drum
At
Farm.
The drum farm.
The
Wait,
Drum
it has an Instagram handle?
Yeah.
Okay.
It does.
Sweet. All right.
Ghostagram.
Ghost.
It's one of those.
No, it's
Cool.
useful.
Let's
It's
bring it back from the dead.
Yeah, why not?
Resurrected.
I
man.
think
Yeah,
going
it's-
back to your question, I think I agree with Taylor. For me, like getting into music initially, it was a live performance, and I remember when I was a kid, my parents showed me Bruce Springsteen. You knew it was going to come up. You guys knew it was going to come up.
You like Bruce?
I like Bruce Springsteen.
So I
You
got
like
into
the
this
Buzz?
now,
You like
so
Bruce Springsteen?
Are you a fan?
See Bruce on the wall. He's gonna do a cutaway of the Bruce original Bruce photo. But yeah, so when I was a kid, my dad showed me Thunder Road, and I really didn't like it because I was like, it was like a
interesting.
slow intro, piano intro, harmonica, and I was like way too young to be being shown that.
Yeah.
And
Wait, why do you think you're up to?
It was so inappropriate.
You ain't a
so
beauty, but you're all right.
not inappropriate. I think it was like
Way
it was
Triple
just,
X
like,
album.
too boring.
Way
It was
too
like-
much
Oh,
sugar.
interesting.
It was
interesting,
like
okay.
a child like you want to hear like something a little more poppy, a little more
It's very
accessible.
adult.
Baby Shark.
And there were kids in my
Too much darkness
this is
on the
fifth
edge of
grade,
town.
and yeah, too much darkness on the edge of town. And there were kids in my 5th grade class who were super into Bruce, and I got into this rivalry about how I hated Bruce. And then I caved and listened, and my mom had the
Wow.
greatest hit CD, and there was Born to Run was the first one. And the second I heard the drums,
Yeah.
I was hooked. And then my dad
Interesting.
took me to see. He came here on his like reunion tour with the E Street Band, and he played the Today Show. We woke up at 4 a.m. and went down to the Today Show and saw Bruce Springsteen. And they came out and saw like 25,000 people had amassed in Rockefeller Center. They were expecting like maybe 1,000, and he woke up the whole band. They came out in their pajamas and did a whole sound check before they did the actual show. And that was the moment where I was like, I want to do that.
That's
Oh,
wait,
interesting.
When was that?
Playing in your pajamas.
2007.
2007?
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so funny because Bruce being one of your favorite bands, one of my favorite bands is The Strokes, and I actually hated them at first too. So it's very funny how
that's funny, that's funny.
Yeah.
Hate-love relationship is a real thing,
And
boys.
they're
Beautiful.
also from New York, and some of them
Yeah.
went to high school like just down the road from here.
It's true.
Oh, yeah.
It's true. Yeah. Not to name drop.
Yeah.
Do you guys have
Yeah.
favorite bands that
Yeah.
were once hated, or you've always loved
I think
music?
Never.
I don't really, yeah, I think the
First.
bands I liked as a kid, I still love.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
We bonded over the love of very similar music, and Ash actually turned me on to a lot of the bands that are now huge influences for me, like Queens of the Stone Age. I had no idea who they
Queens.
were. You showed me them in
Big
9th
Ash.
grade,
Yeah.
and now
No.
I would consider them one of my biggest influences musically.
and
Sorry to
for
cut you
drum-
off.
and, no, and
Continue,
for me,
continue.
drumming too. I mean, the
Oh,
drumming
yeah.
on that record from Dave Grohl is just phenomenal.
The Songs for the Deaf album.
Songs for the Deaf, yeah. 2002. That was a year of great music.
Great music. Yeah. By the way, came out 2002.
7, 8 years old.
Yeah, I'd say for me, it was never a thing of I've hated them and then grown to love them. It was always a very visceral understanding of like the dynamics of that band. So it was very immediate from every single time. I have very vivid memories
Dynamics of what band? Sorry.
of the band, whatever it is. So,
Oh,
for
okay,
example, like
You had those moments where it was like, this is amazing.
so I was like, I totally felt like I understood these bands in a very visceral level from the moment I first heard them play. Their dynamics, the sound that they were going for, their intention, like all of the levels. Like I've always had that feeling. And like I'll give you an example. It was like the first time I heard Pink Floyd, because I was remembering this memory of mine. This girl that I really, really liked. She was the first, like I'd say, my first real love. She remember like AIM messaging. Like
You know, my screen name was
my
screen name was
Yeah.
Thingamajig 94. insane thing.
And then when you heard the door creak that announced someone getting online, and your crush.
Who is it? Who is
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. I had to get it because she was like a couple years older. She was like my friend's older sister's, one of her friends.
Oh, the girl
That I
next
met.
door. The girl next door.
Yeah, that we met, and but so it was like, so the memory was like unridiculously unbeatable, but it was just one of those things where it was like she and I bonded over Led Zeppelin at my friend's older sister's Sweet 16 party. I was like 14, and she and I bonded over Led Zeppelin, and then we started talking, and I remember she sent me like the link to Comfortably Numb. And it was like my whole life changed in every single dimension.
That's your favorite solo, right? Or one of your favorite solos?
That is one of my favorite solos, and and it's also not just because she showed it to me.
I mean, it's an unbelievable.
it's
the
because
tone, the delivery. And he's one of your favorites, right?
Every
David Gilmour?
guitarist.
David Gilmour
Loves
is
his
one of the
solo.
best guitarists of all time, and I've always said this. It's because he was one of the coolest. You could put his solos on any hip hop track or whatever.
You could,
It's
yeah,
like
it's-
it's like it would have fit perfectly.
There's so much feel
It's
in
just
his playing.
yeah,
so much
and
feel.
it was not like he was untechnical. Like he would do this bit. People would say, "Do your best Jimi Hendrix impression," and people would be floored. And he was just like insane. But the fact that he excelled in melody crafting,
Yeah.
it was like it was beyond anything. So
You know,
it was just
just-
like I totally understood. I understood what Pink Floyd was about. I didn't even have to listen to the other albums, but we've talked about how much
Yeah.
I revere Dark Side of the Moon as
Yeah,
being
yeah.
my favorite album of all time.
Oh, Dark Side. Okay.
It is, yeah. We actually just listened to the redo version the other day.
Redux.
Yeah.
It's not one of the best albums of all
It is
time.
not. I would say it's the opposite, but
yeah.
you know, no offense, Roger, but you took out all the high end.
But
Is,
offense.
is The Wall number 2?
no, but
Wow.
Wall is up there.
Wall-
but
I
the
mean, Wall's
thing is,
amazing.
Oh, I would.
That's
put-
interesting.
Wish- wish you were here.
it's very different. But
Okay.
I'd say conceptually,
okay.
it's very nice. But it's just there's a lot of fluff, and I would tell that
Okay.
to Roger Waters' face. There's a lot of fluff in
And
there.
he would really appreciate that.
I'm sure he would. Yeah, I'm sure.
Or Roger Waters.
Yeah,
Have you
I-
seen both Gilmore and Roger Waters play?
No,
Or
I
just-
actually saw The Wall live when he did that like reunion tour
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of thing.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And-
saw that.
And it was really great.
like a couple years ago, right?
He
Like-
did.
It was
came
like
to
it was like
Madison Square
10
Garden,
years
right?
ago.
He
Yeah,
did.
Yeah.
and he had you saw it in MSG, right?
Flying
yeah, the
The
flying,
flying pigs
yeah, the
and
flying
stuff.
pig.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That was really cool that he incorporated all that stuff, and it was really good. And before that, my mom actually met him years before that, like a couple years before that, at a fundraising event. He calls me up, and I didn't know. My mom's like, hold on a second. It puts me on, and he's like, hello. I know it's a terrible impression, but he's just like, hello, who's this? And I was like, Mr. Waters? And he's like, yes, who's this? And I was like, oh my God, I'm a huge fan. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. No, my mom probably
Stay
badgered
home.
him to get on. But anyway, she was telling him he has to do the tour and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, I don't want to do that. So my mom thinks she's the reason why he went back on
Yeah.
tour.
No, I
I
can't
hope
do
so,
that.
man. It was a great tour. I'm happy
No,
to
it was
see him
really
live.
it was really something,
Yeah.
and I was really happy that we got to see that together. So it was good, but yeah, it was just that, and it's like, and if I'd say another band, it's like Led Zeppelin or Allman Brothers Band. It was just the same thing.
I think some of your playing sounds very Jimmy Page-ish. Like,
well, that's the reason why I love
yeah.
Les Pauls is because of him.
yeah. I mean, like your
It's
solo
just
on
that,
Fade
yeah.
Away really feels like Jimmy Page.
It was trying to be
Guitarist,
like
right?
a super slippery kind of like almost like mind-bending
Yeah,
Jimmy
yeah,
Page rendition
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of thing.
I do find it interesting. Like the guitar and the guitarist picks is like emblematic of who the influences are.
Yeah.
I Les
Yeah.
Paul / That's why I like Les Pauls.
Yeah.
What about you, Eli? What would you start
Yeah.
on?
So I started.
You also play guitar.
I mean, I started on a Fender Strats.
Yeah.
But it just like never. I never felt like it was capturing me, and I couldn't play it right. And I switched to a Les Paul, and in our last band,
Good boy.
I was all on a Les Paul, which I love, and it's right over. I think it's no. And now it's in the
SG is
case.
over here. The SG is a Les Paul.
I play. It's not a Les Paul.
It literally is a Les Paul.
It's not. It's
It-
not.
it's
It's
a-
very
it's less-
different.
wait.
It's
It's
less.
it's Les Paul.
It's yeah. So
glad we
so
did that at the
I
same
play.
time.
I play an SG now, but
Yeah.
I actually this weekend picked up my Les Paul again. It's a great guitar. So I'm definitely
It's a better
Gibson
guitar.
for sure. I'm Gibson. I think what I like about the SG is that I found that the way I play, just like the Les Paul, was like it made my sound too muddy. That being said. I really like the way Taylor and my guitars meld together. Our playing is different, and it
yeah,
sounds.
well, you
it
gotta
sounds
have different guitars.
Yeah, because the SG is a little more high end, and the Les Paul is a little more low end. It's a little like beefier, and our playing on stage, especially like there's a lot of Daisymaker songs is some of it is us playing like different things, but some of us is doubling. So it's really nice to have that thick and that kind of more high end sound together on stage.
I'm thick, he's high end.
What's that?
You said I'm thick and you're high end.
Definitely. He's the thick boy.
You're the classy one.
I don't know about that.
So what do you think about guitars?
Oh man.
Yeah,
the bass guitar.
no strings, get a strumming, man. Oh man,
No strings attached.
no one can stop him.
What about you, Asher?
No comment.
No comment.
I love my guitar bros.
Yay.
While my guitar gently weeps.
Oh, yes.
I find it interesting. So, like, you're also in this metal band, and then you're in this rock band. How does that kind of, do you pick and pull from both places?
Yes, he
to
does.
really
He
incorporate
tries
it?
to fuck us up all the time.
Great question. I'd say like I definitely
love it.
throw in some proggy metal stuff into the
we love it, and we love
Daisymaker
it.
songs. And in the metal band, I feel like even on our latest stuff, we're leaning more into that kind of like stoner rocky, kind of more straight up rock style beats.
Yeah.
So I like bringing the influences from both sides.
Keeps it
Both
fresh.
sides.
Let's look at metal. I can't remember which song, but there is. What song would you say has that like, metal influence in the Daisymaker lineup that you guys have currently? The songs.
Ooh.
I'm interested to see what your answer is.
Yeah, no, that's tough. I would say more like, 80s metal, like Slayery kind of stuff.
Yeah.
More like
language.
on the edge of like punk with metal, like with, like kind of that kind of thing.
Lombardo.
Lombardo, of course. And I'd say that kind of thing. And also like Van Halen, if you want to call that metal, but it's also kind of rock. But it's pretty hard.
Yeah, yeah.
Hair
At
metal.
the time,
Heavy.
it was
It's there.
kind of
It's
pseudo.
there.
It's hair metal.
Yeah,
Glam
Hair
metal.
metal.
So yeah, those two, Slayer and some Van
But
VH.
what song do you feel like you've added the
You snuck in.
Oh, like one
the
of our
metal.
songs.
Yeah,
One
one
song.
song.
One of your songs, I think like Midnight Train is probably the most like rockin'.
Okay.
You know.
Is that when it's
So that's a Club Duvet song
Club Duvet.
that we play live.
Okay.
That's like very like that's got that AC/DC, that Aerosmith, that Van Halen sound. I was thinking "Save Your Life" in terms of
Does that have
drumming.
the tom beat? in
Yeah.
it?
The tom beat is "Save Your Life."
Yeah. Okay.
That's
Yeah.
I think that song, and you got the crashes going at the end, especially. I think that you bring in a lot of the metal sound there.
Definitely those, and then also heard it on the radio.
Yeah.
There's a breakdown you do.
The ending
Yeah.
on the radio
Yeah,
is
there's a
like
breakdown,
full
kind of a bridge. You guys are like mimicking each other.
Yeah, I feel like they're
That part is really
Even the
cool.
syncopation in
Yeah.
that is like
you
a band.
we kind
that-
of throw it in.
It's like
Yeah.
Iron Maiden almost.
Yeah. I love that beat a lot.
Economic
By the way.
brain vibes.
Yeah. But the end, also the end of that, the way that Ash recorded that in studio is very metal. You just kind of went crazy at the end of Heard It on the Radio.
Yeah.
And I didn't
And you
cut an
liked it.
instant. I just
You
left
liked
it
it.
as is, totally not comped the end.
liked
It's
the crazy.
Amazing, yeah.
He liked the crazy.
I mean, I like it when a drummer like takes the reins and like expresses themselves.
Oh, that's Ash.
Fully, because I feel like
Yeah.
there's so much as guitarists, right, that knows how to play drums. There's so much with drumming in a band that you have to be on beat, on time. Like you're keeping everything together, and like sometimes it feels like on a guitar solo, you can go out of time a little bit and then get back to the one.
This man never
eventually.
goes out of time. This man is not.
And it's
To be
also-
able to express yourself like that. in a
Also,
song is
really
fantastic.
boring when the drummer isn't felt as a human being. Honestly, whenever there's a song and it's like there's no like passion or something or any presence felt by the drummer, it's like it just misses that element
Doesn't
to
have
it.
the cojones.
Plus, you're so good that it's like that would be such a fail in general to like not include you in that fabric of the song.
I can tell right away when it's Ash
You
playing,
know?
and you showed me Not Tonight, and the first time Taylor ever showed me his solo song Not Tonight, I said right away, that's Ash. I told him, I was like, that's Ash on drums.
I mean, I love that song so much. Like it is probably more often than not my favorite song. My
I think that's
single.
my favorite of your
And-
songs for sure.
Yeah, and then and then Asher and I went to the drum farm.
The drum farm.
At the drum farm. That we went there and we cut it, and it was like a day or so, and Asher got the perfect take. It's not comped at all. We just got it until he got it, and and it just sounds amazing, and it adds so much form to the song, and it just makes the ending that much more emotional, which is the whole point. Like it's like that meme. It's like this is the whole point.
Yeah.
It's like this is the whole point. Like
Ash is very good at elevating
it's
the
live
song.
drums.
yeah, it's like us elevating each other and like just fitting that whole puzzle piece together.
Yeah.
So yeah, it does. I mean, it's like I could have released that song without any drums and it would have been okay, but it's like, what's the point?
Yeah.
without the drums.
Well, you remember you used to tell me in 9th grade, he used to turn to me in class or like in study hall and show me a song and be like, and what do you think that song would be like without the drums? You always used to say that. You remember that? You always used to say that. This song would sound like shit without the drums.
Yeah, it would just make Ash angry.
I didn't need to be convinced of that. I never had any question in my mind.
Why don't these acoustic ballads have drums on them?
If there's no drums, I'm probably not listening to it.
But I like probably am not either.
Come on.
Yeah.
Nebraska.
So funny that
Don't get me
Ash.
started on Nebraska. Not my favorite.
I'm not saying it's a favorite, but it's a great album.
Which
No
album?
comment.
We'll talk.
Nebraska.
Nebraska is an
It's
amazing
a
album.
Bruce
Oh,
Springsteen
yeah.
album.
I think I feel
Time
some
and
type
place,
of way.
everyone. Time and place.
I don't want to get too
Time
much
and place.
Springsteen with these guys. These guys
Started.
when I go on a Springsteen
Yeah,
trip.
Started.
you're over your limit.
Started, man.
So on the bass end of things, right?
Yeah.
On the low end,
On
if
the,
you will.
on the low end, if you will.
Sure.
I think it's what is it like now playing bass and recording on bass, having played drums? You bring that kind of mentality.
Do you
trying to
resent
really
us?
Click in. Do you feel like What'd you say?
Wait, why would I resent you?
Yeah, where were you going with that? I'm curious where you were
Yeah,
going with that.
I was just trying to
You
make
just started a sentence. You started a
And you did,
sentence.
and you did.
trying to chuckles.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Anyway.
like, do you feel like you
Now
have
I
to-
do.
Is it like a, what's the experience
That's
like
how
for you?
Dan is. He is spiteful. He won't let it go. He will not let this go. He
not-
won't let it go.
I'm going to sleep with this.
Middle name is Vengeance.
You're gonna say it.
Let's see if we can get.
Danny Vengeance. Sounds
He's
like
gonna
the guy
say he's
from
not gonna say
A7S.
anything during our next show just to spite me.
I usually don't.
You're still talking about stage normally.
You're
I don't like talking.
you're getting
I don't
good.
like talking.
I wanted him to
I'll
have
shout
the
your
mic.
birthday out
not-
next time.
I
I'll
do
shout
not like
you out.
talking on stage because
shout you
I've been
out.
an audience member and I'm like, oh, they're talking now. Play the next song. You guys are not that funny.
They're talking.
That's
I'm
what.
getting a drink.
I'm like,
Bathroom talk. The
Is this our way
Yeah,
into the
yeah.
comedy club?
yeah, what's going? Yeah, you're doing your
we
type
need
five
that,
in the middle of a set. Like, let's go. Like,
we maybe need to
So-
do this song in order for me to not talk my way.
Yeah.
well, that's a good way to get writing done. Yeah, for
That's
sure.
what other bands are
That's
missing.
what we need. A good talker up there. A good Jay Leno to fucking riff.
Maybe you just have
While
Ash.
someone's tuning, you need a professional riffer.
No,
He should
need
be like,
Ash to do a drum song. It's like this is what a song sounds like with
Hey,
only
we've been
drums
trying to
and
do
no
that.
Maybe we'll
guitar.
do a drum
Drum
solo.
solo.
Drum solo.
Drum
Yeah.
solo.
I heard that
We've been
you're,
trying to do
like,
that
not
for a
a
while.
fan of doing drum solos? Or
Is that true?
That's
Or
how you
that's not
feel.
something your
I
dad
used
told me.
to- yeah, when I was a kid, I'd be like scared to play drum solos, and now
It is
I think
intimidating.
I would love to play a drum solo.
Are you
All right.
kidding me?
We literally
go.
asked you to play
Otto,
one.
I would need to
You
put-
heard it here
I would
first.
need to
I don't know
put
which one
one
I'm-
together. I
All
need
of
to.
Oh no, we gotta get you on the spot.
Can't riff?
I'll
Okay.
just- okay.
You can riff. You
On
can
the
riff.
spot
man.
stuff's good.
You can
Okay.
riff. You can
Dan,
Yeah.
you're gonna answer this question or what?
Listen, I was letting this all unfold.
So like playing drums before, I feel like when you're recording the drums, right, you are setting the tone, setting the click for everyone else.
Yeah.
Do you feel like in your head you still think that way, or do you relax a little bit more into the groove? How's that been playing bass?
There was like a couple of like realizations transitioning to bass that I realized from drums. One is, yeah, you can relax a little bit. And I did feel that like pretty head on. I was like, okay, I can miss a couple
You can
things
cool in the
here.
back. You can cool in the
You
back.
know what I
yeah.
mean? Cool in the back, smoke a cigarette. No one's really gonna know. But no, I always come with professionalism and diligence.
and prepared.
And I know
That could be
what.
professional.
Yeah, exactly. I know the key of every song, and
What's an what?
If you got paper,
What's an E major?
it's written down. If you write down the key, I will know it. Anyway,
That's how you solve that problem.
yes.
That may or may not have happened.
Dan-
at five.
I always used to have very
No,
detailed
that,
set
he kind of
lists.
spoiled me
Dan-
because he used to do that.
Dan could read
We can
English.
record charts.
I could read letters.
Yeah.
A
could
through G
read,
at least.
I always ask people.
He's been through kindergarten and possibly first grade.
It's
I
that's
would-
unconfirmed.
I always ask the band, what do you need? Do you need the key? Do you need what special notes do you
Kanem
need?
as a
I want
work
to-
together.
Actually, yeah. Dan, what do you need? Dan, actually, what do you need?
So
I want you
working with
to
Kanem.
be as comfortable and ready to
No, he
play
was
as
great.
possible.
Working with Kanem as his drummer, I didn't need the key there, but he
Right,
had it for
yeah.
the other instrumentalists, which I thought was
Yeah.
really good.
But you sometimes like there's a break here.
Am I
Yeah,
slacking,
I
boys? Am I
definitely-
slacking? I think I'm
It
slacking.
was
Just so
definitely
we, no,
Yeah,
I
like
you
helpful.
just gave us the
no.
words.
I overachieve.
Okay.
Kanem is an overachiever.
I overthink things.
I just want.
Which
people
was
to
nothing
know
wrong
what
with that.
label I'm wearing.
Oh, we got tags. Okay.
Yeah.
It's been on the. We're gonna zoom in.
Yeah, we
The
actually.
focus of the whole
I'm returning
episode.
this, okay? I got this at Sundance over 10 years ago. I'm going to return it. I had a gifting
The
store.
tag is present, so you can't.
Yeah. Exactly. See, you got this. Anyway, yeah. Yeah, Dan, what do you need?
what
Yeah,
we
from
talking
us. What key? Do you need key? Do you need actual notes?
Pocket. I mean, you guys are taking care of me very well. I feel very cradled. And
Your bass
and
only
thank
has
you.
4 strings. Don't worry,
Bro, I got this.
Right.
All right, I tuned it. It's working. It's,
Okay.
Hey, that's a
plugged
lot
it
to
in.
ask from bassists.
Okay.
Some bassists don't do
What-
it.
We don't really have to.
Okay, what-
That's a bad.
Okay, what key?
Not as much as.
Okay, what key is
you
not
guys.
tonight in? What is key not tonight is in?
It's definitely E
A
major.
flat 7.
That is an interesting key.
E major.
Chord.
It is an E major. Okay, so we're good.
he's got
That's
it.
all I needed to
He's got
know. That's all I needed to know. All right,
He knows.
let's go. All right, cool. All right, he did it.
All right, no,
So
another
embarrassed.
one.
So embarrassed.
Do another
All
one.
right.
Do another.
No, that's it. That's all I
Should we
needed
stump
to
him?
know.
Should we stump
Fade
him?
away.
Ooh, that's a hard one. That's
Oh.
a hard one.
Ooh.
You
okay.
know. You know.
He doesn't know.
Jump cut.
All right, jump cut. Yeah, we're cutting this. Yeah, we're taking this part out.
Hey.
A flat. I was gonna say
Oh.
B flat, so
I
I would have got it
need
wrong.
the first 3 notes of a song to
So
know
yeah,
which song.
sometimes Ash would go down the set list and be like, "How does it start?" And he'd write down, "Starts with guitar, starts with drums."
That's literally so relatable.
The
yeah.
Chili
It's the
Peppers
same
song.
thing.
The Chili Peppers song.
The
Hendrix song.
The Hendrix song.
It
yeah.
sounds like Motorhead. Pretty good.
That's all you really need.
What I think is also interesting is I think we all have like these little ticks that we need to like remember the song.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
singers have it, guitarists have it. It's like, how does the song start? You
Yeah.
need like the first 3 notes to get the like motor on it. So I think it's interesting the things that we all need specifically to get the song started. What was your question?
My question.
I
Is
slowly
this the most
forgot.
ADD interview we've ever done.
Most ADD.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I mean, conversations
Damn.
generally.
No, we're
pretty
giving
typical,
good
right?
content though. That's the
It
thing.
doesn't matter.
I feel like it's just about the conversation and
Yeah.
where it goes. Like I'm not like
Dan,
trying to.
do you want me
It's
to
not going to
mansplain
Sundance.
what your
Yeah.
question was?
It's not going to Sundance,
I
so
ask
it's cool.
questions so we continue to talk, not so that you answer the question.
That's right. That's
Because
right.
sometimes it's more important to
That's a good
hear
interviewer.
That's right.
what you guys want to say.
It's letting it flow and let it breathe.
If you want to get meta right now, you guys have really just been running the show, and I just happen to own the
Yeah.
and I'm cool with that.
Can we stop talking about the bass, please?
What's funny is we never started. We haven't even started.
What was the question?
I would love. Oh man!
So,
All right, what was
from,
it?
from
Yeah,
a perspective as a drummer,
yeah,
now,
yeah.
now
Right,
playing, and particularly because you're
Still
talking
on
about
this question?
right. It is taking.
Oh my god!
So, let's.
See-
but
see,
every
what
time
you
you
just
do
did-
this, stops it from ending. You are destroying your own self. You are a snake eating its own tail.
Yeah, wait,
So every time, yeah, let's try it for the 8th time.
Finish the question.
Anyways, follow
And so we run out of time, run out of tape.
at Kanem
Anyway.
Music. Don't worry about
Taylor
these
Clark
guys.
Bennett.
They'll eventually
next
tell you
show.
who they
Don't
are.
worry about
the drum.
anything else. Yeah,
Yeah.
we ran out of tape, guys, so that's sad.
Yeah.
So when you're recording bass, what is your perspective now? Because you don't have to necessarily be. You said this already. You don't have to be so antsy about being like on time. In some cases, you do have to be very antsy about being on time as a drummer.
You're not driving.
Yeah, yeah,
You're not
yeah.
driving the backbeat of the song.
You're not
No,
keeping
yeah,
the
yeah.
song clicked in.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was a couple realizations I mentioned earlier, and what the nice thing is, Ash, is that these guys are really spoiled because when we mess up as drummers, we can't punch in a fill. We have to start a whole section over.
Yeah.
What I've been enjoying recently is every time I mess up on bass, I was like, can we just do that fill again? And we can literally just isolate it. And I love that. And you guys are seriously spoiled
Well, you
as
said- don't look at me.
guitarists. Well, I don't know. I don't know how everybody works, but I like.
Wait,
I
so,
was like,
wait. So we're all spoiled, is what you're saying.
I'm joining.
You are now a guitarist.
Now I'm there.
Yeah,
But
you're there.
I have the unique perspective of
Yeah.
like, wow, you guys have like I just remember being like, wow, I could just punch this bar in, and they're like, yeah, we'll just do that over. Working with I was recording with Dan something else, and I was like, okay, we can just punch it. I was like, wow, you guys like got it so easy. I would have to do this whole section over, so that was nice.
I struggle
but
doing
also,
that.
you don't like doing it.
You get to see this other half of life.
Yeah, the good life.
I struggle doing that because I with solos in particular, I really try to be hard on myself.
I feel a little different.
I was like, I want to get
solos,
this
you don't
beginning to
that,
end.
yeah.
Because there's a
Some
whole
people
feel aspect.
punch, some people
Sometimes
don't.
you get
Depends on the
lucky.
guitarist. Some guitar.
But-
Like, I've played with guitarists that want
hard.
to do it all the way in one take. Like the other guitarist in our last band, he wanted to do he would do the verse, chorus, and then the solo in one take, which we all thought was kind of wild.
It's a lot.
But that's like certain people like doing that. I want to get everything absolutely perfect, and I will do it like four or five times.
I always do multiple takes, even if it's if I'm especially solos. I've kind of eased up on the entire song because that just seems very exhausting. But with solos, I will at least do 3 or 4 takes, even if I get the second one good. Let me just do a third one and fuck it up.
And then you could chop it up theoretically.
You got to get the lead in right. Got to transition into it well.
And you're good at figuring out.
You can make it work by cutting around, but the transitions are key. With drums, it's you can.
Well, that's why we do.
You gotta get the
transitions.
The transitions.
The transitions, because there's so many little acoustics that surround every transition
The transients
that you can't
are just
especially
Exactly.
hi-hats.
That's the difficult part about drums, in a sense, is because you have so many parts that you're dealing with in tandem. I remember when dealing with, trying to configure the drum parts for Not Tonight, and it was you have to be so specific, even when you're just treating the drums with EQ, compression, reverb, all that kind of stuff. You're just you have to be so careful not to make things out of phase. So it's just that much, infinitely more of a headache than drums than single mono or poly rhythmic or notable things like guitar, bass, that kind of stuff, because you're only dealing with that problem as opposed to just crazy harmonics, because it's the harmonics of the skins and the overheads and stuff like that. It's just beyond
and
what we have to
bleed
deal
and
with.
the cross bleed too.
The cross bleed, but it's really the harmonics for me and that kind of stuff is just you don't it's I don't want to deal with that. That's crazy.
It's such an analog
with guitar
instrument.
This is brutal. The timbre of drums is so hard to deal with.
It's an acoustic instrument. And
protect your ears, kids. Wear earplugs.
That's right.
Well, that too. That's a good. Yeah, dude. I got tinnitus when I didn't have my earplugs for the last time. I couldn't even go to sleep that night. Barely.
You should make a
I
song.
don't know. At our last rehearsal, a couple weeks ago.
Whose fault is that?
Dude, you should make
I
a
put
song.
them in my pocket during the show, and I left them somewhere. But I'm gonna have my in-ears because I literally almost could have not been
You should
able
make
to
a
sleep.
song called "Not Tinnitus."
God, it's gonna.
I'm gonna kill you.
I'm so proud of that.
God.
I swear to God.
It's interesting what you're
that
talking
good
about
stuff.
plugins.
That stuff's good.
And I think that's an interesting topic of the way to record, because you have amazing plugins that you use and you're able to.
I learned a lot about engineering after I left college for to do DubSpot, which was it was a small but very focused course on mixing and mastering engineering, and so I did learn a lot, and I do love the intricacies of all that stuff. So it's cool. But
what's interesting, and if you talk to different guitarists that have different styles, Taylor, he loves plugins, and I
respect them because I could see the craft that goes into emulating stuff.
In a positive
very
way. In a positive
Yeah.
way.
I would rather have $150,000 worth of original original
Analog gear is a
JCM.
luxury.
You have
so expensive.
I don't know.
But I do.
He's got a rack full of 1073s. You got 8 1073s, 2 distressors. Oh yeah, no, I think I'd rather use those than the universal audio plugins.
But
no offense, UA, but I'd rather have what Ash has got.
Please.
For me, I use a 4x12 orange cab, and I just use an SM57. And you have a good engineer. We have got a great engineer. His name's Anthony Morph at Morphland.
Yeah. Shout out.
Shout outs.
Love that dude.
So I like doing that. It's so interesting when you talk to guitarists of like who uses plugins, who uses amps, what kind of mic setup do you use?
Sims,
Cab sims. What kind of pedal setup do you have? It's so interesting when you talk to guitarists and like everybody has. You have 5 guitarists in a room, you're gonna get 5 different answers.
Yeah, I mean everyone only knows what they know.
Yeah.
I've roamed the earth in terms of like going from like digital boards to I finally got a tube amp to running stereo setups to just like debating just doing mono to the amp cab sims. I mean, it's a playground at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Each thing has its utility, I think.
Exactly.
It's what you can use. If you can
and what you want to
manage, and if you want to, you can manage to bring like your vintage gear to record and to gigs and stuff. Great for you.
You got your tape,
which we do.
Your
when
tape
we go
machine.
to the drum farm. We get like a hand cart. We go out to the studio. We put my giant 4x12 on. Need like 2 people to help balance it down this like long hallway from the studio. We put it in the car. Drive 3 hours out to Long Island, but it sounds pristine.
Oh yeah, and by the way, Not Tonight. That was the first song that you actually recorded with the 1073s.
Yeah, no, I remember that.
Yeah, so we were it was kind of like
the 1073s are what?
the Neve preamp, like EQs, the 3-band EQs. Those are like the golden standard of like analog. The blue with the gray and the red knobs.
What an old Neve console would have.
Yeah.
Like a smaller package, basically.
Okay, it's not a full rack.
No, it's the actual ones, but they're
smaller than an actual console.
Okay.
Yeah,
but it basically is like that in the smaller.
Yeah,
in the smaller
it's that
package.
sweet sound and that same kind of electronical like. Are they're tubes or something or like
No, they're solid state, but
they're solid state.
They just have a nice
but
like.
It has
a warm tone.
Yeah,
as everyone likes to say.
Yeah. Well,
nice, low end.
Yeah. So it was. So yeah, that was the first thing we really. That was like the first really nice like analog gear that you got that we were able to like mess around with. So that was cool to have that on the song.
Yeah.
You know,
what song's that on?
On Not Tonight, the single that came out last week, and all the song that
Daisymaker,
all the stuff that they have.
Or most,
we got
most of the guitar in Daisymaker is a lot of it is through that console.
Yeah. So it's pretty fun. Honestly, it is more exciting having the real thing.
To be able to go out there and just because it's also the recording experience when you're out there with multiple people is. We sometimes record some of our stuff in our sweaty studio in Brooklyn, and you got to figure out where are you sitting and all of that. Yeah. Sometimes we go out and as a band and do everything together at Ash's studio, and it's a lot more comfortable. And I find that it's a little less like you go to the studio in Brooklyn, you're there to work on a specific part, and then you're going to leave. Yeah. Whereas when you go out to the drum farm for a weekend, you can take a little bit more time and have the ideas flow. It's a good creative
How do you guys
motion.
balance that in terms of I feel like a lot of times I'm a very task-oriented person, where I'm trying to get things done. Do you guys feel like that? It seems like you guys relax more into the art form as opposed to needing to finish it, right? Or do you get?
I don't know. I feel like it's both. I don't know for us.
I think we're finding that out about each other. Honestly, I think we're approaching that because
I have some grievances.
I don't want to oversell our process so far because we have
I don't think we have
because we only really just came together.
We haven't really refined
recently.
that process. I think we're learning about each other, which is a good thing.
We met on Christian,
or it might not be. Or it might not be a good thing.
We'll
we're taking it slow.
I'm definitely lucky, and
we take it slow.
People who come to my studio love the fact that especially if it's in a band like that I'm in, that we don't have to cram the whole day into recording an album, and we're not on a time crunch with
or a budget.
We never put undue pressure on each other because we love each other as people and friends. So it's that's never going to come before the art. We're never going to be like, Ash, if you don't get this bleeping fucking thing, we're going to throw this shit at you, or You know,
Yeah,
like
right,
there's no kind of like we're just gonna like work with what we have, and we're just gonna do the best that we can.
And you can always
so
go
I think that's
back,
what drives
like,
it.
yeah.
But we are gonna get whatever we need done. So, and I feel like making things simple is only gonna make, like, for me in general, it's like just making things simple. Like, we're gonna get the solo done today. Like we're gonna get the drum parts done today. Like, you know, we're not gonna do like an album in 12 hours.
Yeah.
That's just not needed because
Not
of
Black
how
Sabbath in 1972.
yeah, or the Beatles or whatever, because it's like that's not what's needed from anyone anymore. Because it's like we only release, like, the meta is we only release singles like once every month. Like, anything sooner than that, people think would be like too like shoddy or lazy or whatever.
Yeah, and I think also, like, the four of us have enough experience in previous bands where we saw what went wrong.
Yeah,
and we
definitely,
moved into this band,
Yeah.
or even just life experiences, and just went, okay, these are the things I can't do and say. If I want
yes,
this to
life
get done,
experiences.
we got to communicate. And I've seen a lot of effort from, like, everybody to make sure everybody's not even just on the same page, but that everyone is receiving the information the right way. No one's taking things the wrong way. You know what I mean?
Everyone's
Like,
in
we're
the same
all-
key.
Are you referring to
Everyone's
something?
playing in the same key.
Everyone's playing the same key. You know, the basics. No,
Everyone knows what key they're playing.
the basics. No, just
There's
like
no
in general.
shaming, though. There's for sure
You're right. There's no
shaming.
shaming. There's
No, we only
one's
jest
putting anybody
in
down.
good, you know,
Yeah,
in
we
good
jest.
heart
We
and
we riff. We have
This
a good
is
time.
what you're seeing is very much how
This
rehearsals
is
are.
pretty
I mean,
much.
yeah.
Yeah, we actually don't play music at all. We just talk like
I'd
this.
say we've definitely gotten better at rehearsals since we
have,
started.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I like is
we know
that
when
last
to, like,
rehearsal.
cut it off when we've been
Yeah.
going too
Yeah.
long.
That's true.
We know when we need to keep working
Yeah.
on stuff because
Yeah.
it's sounding a little off.
Yeah.
It's a delicate balance.
What's been like
That's
the
been
toughest
nice.
song to like actually you feel like, or have there been any tricky songs or tricky parts?
I think so. Yeah.
I think they're just, I don't know if any song in particular jumps out to me, but I think that in general it's just little intricacies of
Yeah.
different songs.
So
I'm asking like what?
I think so. I have often gotten feedback that I tend to write in ways where it's sort of as if the song is like part A, part B, part C, but really it's like part A, you know, with an asterisk,
A
and
squared.
A square. Like, there are little things that can trip you up if you have not like actively written the song yourself. So I like the song Midnight Train.
Yeah.
That's a song that has like an A asterisk, B asterisk,
And it's a long song
and it's a longer
compared to
song.
the other
I think
songs.
that one, perfect place and time. All the Club Duvet songs that we've brought over are
Yeah.
tricky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Midnight Train, perfect place and time. I think the Daisymaker songs are simpler instrumentally. Me as a vocalist, I'm new to singing as a frontman. So the first time I ever did a show was our Arlene's Grocery show.
Okay. Well,
First
congrats.
time, thank you. First time I ever did a full show, and some of the songs I think for me vocally have been difficult, and I've had to both learn how to sing, and I spent the last year or so taking voice lessons and figuring out how to do that, but then also how to sing while playing with a live band in some settings. In rehearsal, the acoustics are not always the greatest. It's a small room. Being able to hear yourself, and also being able to rely on these guys to tell me what sounds good or what doesn't sound good, which has been really helpful.
Yeah.
For me, Feel This No More, which was our second single that came out, for some reason, the vocals on that, very difficult for me. It's a major key.
interesting.
It's an A major, and I think I'm just more used to the blues and the minor pentatonic vocal riffing that it's just like harder for me to find that key and lock in. And I've had to really work on like hearing myself. Sometimes I'll literally stick the PA system right up to my ear to be it.
My goal is to get an in-ear rig going for this band.
I think we got to.
I think that's going to happen. That's going
the
to happen.
evolved form of this.
Got to have the streamlined in-ears.
Definitely worth it to
That's the Charizard.
invest into that.
That's the Charizard.
that's the
that is the
Shadowless.
new that is
That's
the new
funny.
way of things, isn't it? Like you have
It is.
ears in the room so you can hear everything.
Yeah, it just feels a little weird because if you don't have like the amplifier in it, it's just a little tougher to like have that much more control over what you get in your ear.
And also, I don't want to be the person to.
You have to be very technical about what you're doing.
as much apartment headphone playing that I've done, there's still something about like the air pushing from an
absolutely.
amp. That's, like,
yeah.
Like it's hard to escape.
It
that.
is nice. Also, like you just said, like basically having like the in-ear like cushions on the low end, like mine are like the Sures that are like $80-$90, and it's like not as pleasurable as just like listening to it naturally. So.
I'm very thankful to live with a loud guitarist.
That's the first time anyone's
At
ever
all
said that in
hours.
history.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah. So yeah, amps.
Move into Guitar Center.
Yeah.
No, I was gonna say I think there's something to be said about like, for me at least, when I go to a concert and the guitar is rocking, you can like feel it in your chest a little bit. And I think that like that oomph that you get from live rigs and like the air moving. That's
We'll
like
still get that. but-
A lot of, I mean, having live monitors gets the feel, in your body of the low end, and then the in-ears, just are like the cherry on top.
cherry on
Yeah.
top. I was at a
I agree
concert
with
this
that.
weekend, and the mix wasn't so great for the first couple songs, and I was like so bummed about it. And then they jacked it up, and you could feel it in your chest. And as soon as I got that, I'm like, okay, now I'm ready. Now I'm ready to enjoy the show.
Yeah.
So I do want to ask, as we're wrapping up here, what are the favorite song? What's the favorite song from the next 3 that are coming out on the EP?
Oh.
So Stumbling in the Dark, Heading,
Get You Off My Mind,
Getting You Off My
and
Mind,
Heard It on the Radio.
Heard It on the
Are
Radio.
the 3 that have not come out.
So those 3. Those 3.
I'm a Heard It on the Radio guy.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say that. I knew you were
Why?
gonna say-
I just liked the chorus groove on the ride of how it. I've got like the snare kind of on the off
It's that
beats a little bit.
syncopation. It's very fun.
Yeah.
It's very satisfying.
Yeah.
That's the most like metal, like 70s metal song we have.
It was also that was the one we weren't going to put in our list.
Yeah, well, I asked. So I had 2 songs
Yeah,
that
we
I
did a poll.
Yeah, I had 2 songs, and I asked Taylor and Dan which one, and they were like, "This is the one."
Immediately, I was like, heard it on the radio because it was like the most fun and like, I don't know, it was just a little bit different. Like when we were putting the set list together,
Yeah, it is
there was
different.
still like a lot of balancing. We didn't know what we were going to put in, and it just seemed like the best fit out of all of them to like showcase our chops, as well as introduce a fun song that, it just it felt natural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
I was gonna say I heard it on the radio,
Heard
but
it
I
on the radio?
really do love. What was it? Not Stumbling in the Dark, but Stumbling in the Dark as
Get
well.
You Off
But
My
Get
Mind.
You Off My Mind, I really had fun recording that.
Yeah, that's
So
the one we
that
did
was
the little
fun.
Chuck Berry licks.
That's when I did that. Yeah,
Chorus,
that was fun. And I really loved doing the role playing and stuff for that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
It was also it was just fun. But yeah, I heard it on the radio. I mean, I definitely put my neck on the line for that one. So
Yeah.
So I got to say that. But yeah, they're all fun to play
Which
on.
is funny because I was ready to cut it and I wasn't as confident in it, and he gave me the confidence, and it is.
I told you we needed to do it, so that was the confidence.
Yeah.
It's like you were like, I don't know if I could do this, and we were like, no, but you
We're
have
doing
to.
it, and it's
So,
got
yeah,
that
so
like
you're
kind of Led
yeah.
Zeppelin riff, or really it's a Metallica riff, but
kind of, yeah.
It's Master Puppets. In a good way, in all the best ways.
Yeah.
You go next.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were
No. Wait, did you say which one?
So I think I have a different answer than the rest of the guys, because Stumbling in the Dark for me, that's a very like personal song that Ash knows. He's nodding already. He knows. So that's like the first song that I wrote that I was like, this is a song I can show to people. And I think I showed it to you very early on, and it was at that other studio at 34th Street. It was just me and you, 38th
Music
Street,
Building,
me and you,
Oh, yeah.
and I'd just written it, and I wasn't even really like singing. This is probably 10 years ago at this point, and I was just playing it, and I would just call out, okay, here comes the pre-chorus. And I remember distinctly that you locked in and you played basically what you play on the record. Just I was like, this is the pre-chorus, okay, chorus. And he just locked in. And that was one of the moments that I knew, like, okay, I want to do this. I want to write songs. So for me, that's really important. We put it out with Club Duvet, and I just never really liked the mix of it. And we revisited it. We changed the key. I was singing on it, on this. And I just feel that this particular presentation of that song is what I always had in my mind that I was never able to achieve before. So I'm really happy about that. But I also love Get You Off My Mind. I love, first of all, the whole band is on that song. Because, as we said, we kind of came together not everybody's on every song, just of when we recorded everything. And that one, like, that sounds like Daisymaker. Same with Fade Away. And heard it on the radio as we've beaten to death is just a fun one.
I'm really glad how Fade Away has come together.
Yeah.
And
that is probably my favorite Daisymaker song.
I gotta say, it really...
Number one?
Number one.
I mean, regardless, I'm really proud of how that record came about, and like also how it just sounds in general. So I'm glad that that's like the last single that we're using to kick off the EP.
Yeah, and I think your solo is a real highlight of the song.
Thank you. I heard it was a slam
actually,
dunk.
Everybody, my friend said that solo is a dunk. I mean, actually, like I shouldn't say that's any of the highlights, because I think all of the parts on that song are really
it's a good solo.
That's a good. No, I'm proud of it.
I like how
really
it. No, I think that it honestly
nice
it was also engineered well, and everything just flows really well into each other.
Yeah.
So it was just a really nice. Yeah, I gotta say, it makes me very, very happy to hear that. And like I said, that's going to be our single going into this next show, and our release into the EP, and now we're going to take it from here. And, and we have so much time to get ready for the auto show. That's going to be such a fun show.
I'm really glad it didn't fade away.
It's been a week. It's been a week.
What's your favorite song on the upcoming?
So I really like Get You Off. I like all three. They all like grew on me in distinct ways. I initially really liked Get You Off My Mind. I like the bluesy.
Song you locked into.
The
first song you locked into.
it was just it came very easy because I was like really into it. It's very bluesy, and then heard on the radio snuck up on me. At first, I was like, "What is this?"
It's very different.
I like your reactions.
In the sense of like it caught me off guard. Because I was familiar with Daisymaker, and this was not a song I ever thought would come in the catalog because it has like crazy drums. It's a whole chromatic scale. It's an E minor.
He's got it.
And but it's a really cool, interesting, metally song. It's got a lot going on, and it grew on me a lot.
It's very aggressive.
It's very aggressive.
Definitely
very impressive.
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 Don't cry. Don't cry.
It's impressive, aggressive.
It makes me cry.
And so
our boy Dan is showing up before
us. Thank you for sharing those songs with me like ahead of time, because I thought it was like really cool to listen to those, get an idea of like what's coming, and it's always interesting like writing these songs. Like you said, some of them somehow you don't understand how good they are until you share it, but also sometimes you don't want to share it because you don't think it's that good, and you need that kind of community.
Especially
and that's the great thing about being in
when you're so new to it. Also,
because this band really came together in like 4 months.
When did this start? I'm like trying to remember.
Yeah, we didn't do the
when did I join? Earlier this year.
History. Like in October of last year.
I guess, So
I must have come during like January or February.
Yeah.
Wow.
So basically, Ash and I were in Club Duvet, and that kind of just sort of fizzled. And we're still really good friends with the other guys in the band, but just like
they're amazing. I love them.
Yeah, they're amazing guys. They're some of my best friends.
No hard feelings, boys.
In all seriousness, they are some of my best friends in the world, and but Ash and I wanted to keep. I mean, I really wanted to keep playing, and I kind of roped Ash along for the ride. But
glad to be on the ride.
So I started playing with this other guy, and we started writing a lot of songs together. So we wrote the one that made it was we wrote Save Your Life together, and then we wanted to make a band that was
really like that song.
Yeah, that's also that was purposefully the first song.
That's how you got us in.
That was how, But so then we wanted to do that, and I talked to him. I was like, "You want to do this?" He said, "Yeah, we're going to do it." So we started really taking it seriously, recording everything. We found Dan, and then he had another band. It kind of heated up. So he said, I think that this is actually like a little too much of a time commitment, which totally makes sense. And then we found Taylor. So we'd already sort of like put together this project, and we picked some songs from Club Duvet, and it's just kind of all came together. But I'm so happy with how it has come together because I listen to Fade Away and I'm like, this is the sound that I had in my mind for this band, and like couldn't have done it without these three gentlemen. by my
I'm
side.
definitely gonna re-listen because it's always interesting hearing the whole catalog, and then you're saying fadeaways like the sound that you were going for. So I'm definitely gonna re-listen to that because I wanna.
Well, it's us. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, so.
And I mean, I think a lot of the songs are the sound I'm going for, but that's also happens to be the first song that came out that's everybody in this room.
Yeah, and context does matter. Obviously,
Yeah.
you would hear those songs, and you'd be like, you wouldn't know. But now that you've gotten to know us a little better, you're like, oh, okay,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
see this, and then you're like, okay,
I see all the ADHD.
yeah. Are you stalking us? No. I'm just,
So any final thoughts on the music, the band?
this is it,
Any
boys.
secrets? Any secrets?
Any secrets? You want me to tell you a secret? You want me to tell you a secret?
I'm
Tease that there'll potentially be a video of us at the drum farm in the future,
he
which
wants
I
to
haven't
do it.
fully
Is that right?
spoken about to everyone in this room, but
Yeah, it's a huge secret. I don't even know about it.
We're
that's,
ready.
that's definitely in the works.
Oh my
So,
god.
That's a
Live
huge
live
announcement.
playthrough action
Oh
at the
sh.
studio.
That's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of pressure.
Stuff.
That's a
We're
huge-
being,
Yeah.
this is being dropped.
We're
almost.
gonna.
Yeah, we didn't
know this was coming.
You heard it here first. They said it now. If they don't do it,
We're gonna hire a bunch
if
of.
they don't do it, they're
We're gonna do
fucking
it.
weak.
We're gonna do it Nathan Fielder method style. We're gonna hire a bunch of actors, and we're gonna get them out to the drug farm. We're gonna be
drum farm.
We're gonna at the,
The
drum farm.
drum farm.
We're
At
gonna
the
be
drum
so
farm.
packed we can't even play our
Aren't you
instruments.
gonna need to do at the rehearsal drum farm like a different one?
No,
You have
because
to
we'll
make
get
another-
sued. I think if we do
No, you
that.
have to make another drum farm to
No, because
Yeah,
we're
rehearse
gonna
the
do
filming.
No, because we're gonna build another farm. We're gonna build an identical
One.
building
Become
on the
farmers.
same plot of land
Right.
right
Farm
next
and
to
There's
it.
enough space.
Yeah.
Mission Impossible.
And then hire actors to perform the song.
Or we just do
Teach
this.
them the
Give them
song.
critiques.
Or we
Give
do
them
this
critiques.
and we tag Nathan Fielder and we get him to do it.
Hey,
I'm okay with that.
he wouldn't
Yeah.
know the key of the song. So
There's a lot of shade being
I really don't understand. I asked for one key, and everybody's
I like that,
treating
though.
me
That's
like
cool.
Alicia No Keys. It's fucked up. I really like that.
I actually have a secret, but I don't know if it's going to beat that one.
all right, any other final
Anything
thoughts?
else?
Final
thoughts?
thoughts?
Oh, I do have a single coming out tomorrow, but it's probably not going to come out tonight. So
Not tonight, if you will.
not tonight. So yeah, no. So my song, "The
So
Way,"
by the time this comes out, it will
is
be
it,
out.
it's going to be out
Yeah.
for like 2
You can
months.
still say it's been out.
Yeah. No, yeah. So it's my song, "The Way," and it's about talking to the love of your life. You know, even though you haven't met them yet, it's like talking to them through the ether. So if you're longing and looking for the right person to come along, this is the song for you.
Where can they find that?
Oh, it's going to be on Taylor Clark Bennett.
Taylor Clark Bennett.
Everything is on Taylor Clark Bennett. Yeah.
At Taylor Clark Bennett. Also
At
on-
Taylor Clark
okay.
Bennett. Yes, everything you could ever
what's your
dream
name?
of, even Red Note.
Clark.
Clark Bennett.
Clark.
My mom's been trying to get me to just do Clark Bennett. I'm like, no,
No, that's a no.
no,
You
it's
need
not
Taylor.
gonna happen.
Dan has thoughts on that one.
You could just call me Taylor.
Taylor's a cool name.
T-Bone.
T-Bone.
It's just what it is. My
T-Bones.
name could be anything.
T-Bone Bennett.
But
not Clark.
yeah. But my last thoughts about this for the video about the band is I love you guys and I'm really excited for this shows that we got coming up and everything else in the future.
Future's
So,
looking bright. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You guys are cool as
So
hell.
I'm down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my last thoughts are so super excited for The Road Ahead coming out. Let's say it's coming out July 29th. 7/29, The
Sure.
Road Ahead, 6-song EP. We got the 3 that are already out and the 3 that are coming. Super excited about that.
Yeah.
Super excited about all our shows we got going. Otto's June 26th.
Yep.
We got Delancey August 2nd, which is going to be the release show. And we
Christopher
got and Christopher Lewis's birthday.
yeah.
And we got Pete's Candy Store out in Brooklyn on September 18th. And maybe there'll be a video before then. Maybe that'll be the release show for the video. So lots coming. It's so fun to do it with these guys. And thank you guys for supporting me and being, I know that I'm not necessarily a traditional singer, but you guys kind of empower me to make the music that's in my head. And it wouldn't sound the way it sounds and the way I want it to sound without these 3 gentlemen by my side. So
Yeah.
really pumped to be along the ride with you guys. and thank you for doing this. This was so.
Thank you,
This is
Kanem.
very professional.
Yeah.
This was great, and we really appreciate you schlepping up to the Upper West Side to do it with us.
Yeah, this is really cool of you.
Yeah. Yeah, Dan, what are your
And
thoughts?
you're welcome.
Yeah, what are your thoughts?
that's
Oh,
your
I'd
thought.
like to
That's
say
okay.
you're
Dan hooked it
welcome.
up. That was your thought.
For bringing
You're
my
very
boy
welcome.
Kanem to get you guys a free content. You're welcome.
So we should be thanking Dan is what
That's
he's
what it's,
saying.
if you want, it's cool.
If you want, okay.
Well, if you can, yeah, it's basically I basically put this up and stuff.
He basically owns the cameras.
I'm
himself,
actually Kanem.
I'm very happy to do it. Regardless if I had known things, I would have been open to it.
I don't know if that's true, but we
No, he's,
I-
Kanem is very
like to chat
kind
with
spirit.
bands.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
loves
yeah.
this.
I
You have a
did-
knack for this too. You ask really,
good
really good, insightful questions, man.
Yeah.
It's like not everybody does that.
I mean, it's part of it is I think it's challenging for bands to make content, just to talk about themselves and their music, and
Yeah.
sometimes
It's really challenging for us to talk about ourselves
but I think
As you saw.
in front of the camera, like,
Or to get
in a coherent way.
yeah.
share the content.
Yeah,
I don't mind talking.
No,
Yeah.
yeah. The content, making content is a whole
main
other
content
ballgame.
is not
So-
not the best part.
But it's
of
about
being a
like
musician.
there's things
Yeah.
I do like the musicality, but I think sometimes it gets lost. Personalities get lost, and sometimes we just sit down and talk about the whole thing.
Sure.
There's people that just watch the clips. There's people that watch the whole video. There's people that just listen to the audio.
Yeah.
But I just like to be part of that process of opening the door for other people to like get interested in these other bands, other people's music, other what they're doing. So I'm happy
Yeah.
to do it. I'm happy.
Well, we appreciate it.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
You look like you have some final thoughts, man.
I was just gonna say thanks and
Yeah.
take it easy, guys.
I don't think.
Cut.
All right, this has been Daisymaker, everyone. Enjoy the chaos.
Let me see it. Come on. Let's go. Let me hear it.
Thank you so much. That song came out this Tuesday. It's called Feel This No More.